Hello and welcome to another playthrough of Detroit Become Human. So we've got Kara and Alice here trying to escape the city. Now I say it pretty much every video, but the visual quality of this game just on a regular PlayStation 4 is great, particularly with the rainy scenes. And this really creepy mansion is a great little section. Now there are some other bits I think they could have done with this which would have made it really cool. But basically both Kara and Alice are a little bit suspicious about this place. They're cautious, they know there are people out there to get androids, but you know they're desperate to escape, and I believe the idea they're forming is to head north to Canada because it's not 100% clear, but basically the androids pretty much only exist within North America, from what I can tell, and the United States rather than the whole continent. So that's an interesting little observation, to be honest. Now, Alice in particular, obviously, is extra cautious, but Kara's just doing what she can to escape. And we meet this guy, Zlatko, and he's got a helper who we will meet very shortly, and he's a bit of a beefy fellow, and there was this nice little tension at the start of this particular section, and then you get some nice interesting stuff happens a little bit later on. Anyway, he decides to let them come in, and we will then start seeing what does and doesn't happen to our little refugees here. Now, what I do like about this section is it does help build this sort of weird world where you get to realise that androids are second-class citizens. For some people they're viewed as like family members, like real people, whereas for other people in society they're just mechanical devices. And of course, the game is sort of asking you, are they real people? That they sort of develop a self-aware AI. So should they be treated as genuine people? And of course, this links into this sort of slavery concept, whereby, of course, back in the day, a lot of people treated slaves as not being human. So the analogy starts getting laid on a bit thick at times. So it's very interesting for me as a studier of history to see some of these links back to sort of attitudes that did actually genuinely exist back in the 16th, 17th, 18th century sort of thing. So the filmic quality of the game is something that's really good, and what I like about the David Cage series of games is he does have this beautiful sort of storytelling element to his games, but he does rely on the QTE a little bit too much for my taste. So anyway, here you go. Canada's just been mentioned, so that's a good place to try and escape to. Obviously, with no Android laws, a little bit safer. Now, one thing that I'm not sure that is well defined is the sort of how androids who escape to Canada, how they're going to recharge their batteries and stuff, because they run off that kind of weird blue blood thing. Anyway, we have just been informed that we've got a tracking device, so that's not good.
I'll remove yours, and then you'll both be safe.
Okay. Now, if you watch carefully, some of the facial animation here is really good.
The little one can wait for us in the living room.
No, she always stays with me.
Okay, so we've now got control back, so we can move off. Now, I was hoping you could do a bit more exploring and looking around, but sadly it doesn't seem to be too much that you can actually interact with at this stage. For example, there's a bookshelf here, and I was rather hoping there'd be something a bit more interesting to interact with, but not desperately, to be honest, so that's a bit of a wasted opportunity in my mind. So I don't know if there's maybe something else you can do where that will suddenly work or whatever, but there you go. What can you do? Anyway, we're getting down into this creepy basement here, and obviously Alice is very triggered.
I know. I don't trust him either. We have to be careful.
So anyway,
Please excuse the mess. I needed somewhere discreet for my machines.
yeah. So anyway, I was sort of scanning around because there is some sort of weirdness here, and I believe Alice has just stopped to look into one of the sort of stables. So if we go back,
Come on, Alice.
yeah, something's not quite right. And as you see, we've unlocked a future dialogue choice there by looking. So anyway, yeah, this reminds me of the tech demo for Kara, which was where Detroit First Human first came to the attention of the public, and yeah, that doesn't look good, does it? Really, based on that tech demo. Now it looks like you don't have too much choice but to enter the machinery. So yeah, I'm not sure I want to be here, but there you go. Very suspicious.
I should warn you, this could be quite unpleasant. You know what's
Yeah, I think
strange?
things are about to go wrong here.
For some unknown reason, the trackers seem to stop working in Deviants. That's why it's so hard to find them. So, actually, there's no reason to remove your tracker.
What? But you said that...
Yeah, people believe what they want. You Deviants are so naive.
Okay, so this guy's not so
They'll come
friendly,
to me expecting me to
and yeah.
and I just reset them, sell them, or I keep them for my little experiments.
No! No! I don't want to be reset! Let me go!
Oh, I forgot about the child. Lock it up. I'll deal with it later.
Alice! Alice, no!
Now, what's interesting about this, I've played it a few times, this particular scene, and there are multiple outcomes here. So you can, I think there is a bit where you do get reset, you can escape, and other bits and pieces. So anyway, we'll play through this and see what I do on this particular playthrough. But yeah, we're getting our memory wiped, and that is something I definitely do not like the look of.
That's what you get for having a dream. It always ends up the same way. Tears and disillusionment. Believe me, you're better off being erased and feeling nothing. No more pain. No more hopes dashed. Almost empty.
Okay.
Oh, poor little Alice. Oh, looks like Mommy doesn't remember you at all, huh? Looks like Mommy's completely forgotten you.
Carter, what happened to you?
Oh, all right, that's enough. Come on. You bit me. I'm gonna teach you some manners, you little bitch.
Carter! Wake up, Carter!
Meet me in the living room.
Okay. We have serious problems here. We need to get out of here. So we're 28% reset. We can potentially cause a short circuit. So how are we going to do that? Well, maybe if we kick this thing over here. Okay, that didn't quite work. Okay, we've got a little cable we can yank on, so let's try that. And it is possible to fail some of these. So there you go. Oop, managed to just about get hold of it. Okay, so that's some liquid spilt, but we need something to short out, so let's push this here, and that should hopefully knock over this electronic device. Okay, so now we need to get out of this bit of machinery. And we're free. So there you go. So we managed to avoid getting too much of our memory wipe there, so that's good. However, as I say, it is possible to do worse on this particular scene, and there's various ways that can play out. So if you're playing through the game yourself, you might find this bit plays slightly differently for you depending on what you do or don't do. Anyway, there are some creepy people in the basement here, which yeah, it's a little bit disturbing. These are the little experiments that he was talking about, so where he modifies androids for his own sick artistic desires. And yeah, they're all a little bit freaky, some of these androids.
No. This can't be happening.
He likes to play with us, creating monsters.
Now this reminds me a bit of sort of like Sid from Toy Story.
But who's the real monster? Look what he did to us.
So you can see a lot of these androids are suffering a bit from post-traumatic stress by the looks of it. Not surprising really, considering what he's done for them. So anyway, whilst we might have a little bit of concern for the plight of those androids, we're much more concerned about what's going on with Alice.
Luther?
Yes, Zlatko.
I should be done here in 10 minutes or so. I'll have a look at the little one, see what I can do with it.
Understood, Zlatko. I'll bring you the little one in 10 minutes.
Oh. So anyway, he's experimenting away in that room on the right, so it's suggesting we don't go in there. Don't particularly want to go straight via Luther, so let's sneak in one of these doors here. There's all sorts of weird stuff lying around in this house. Oh, RA9, that might be familiar from some other moments in the game. And there's something over in this cage over here. What's this all about? Ah, a mechanical polar bear. That doesn't look good. Anyway, I'm an android, so I think I might be safe, so I've decided to open up the cage, and that may or may not be helpful later, we'll find out. Anyway, got about 8 minutes apparently to find Alice still. So you've got various little hidey holes throughout the house that you can attempt to hide in. And I believe we're in a bathroom, and this android seems a little bit confused as to why we're here.
You must always obey the master. Oh yes, you must always obey. You should not be here. You have no business here. No, you have no business here.
And, oh, okay. Well, that was a bit weird. Luther with his eyes shut there. And we got another one of these little magazines, and as you can see there is all sorts of tension going on with little fight going on in the Arctic, so there's a pretty cool sort of backstory as well going on, which would be nice to see a little bit more about that. And yeah, these are sort of just collectible magazines which are, you know, interesting, but they're not like, oh, absolutely essential. Anyway, we found a gun. I'm sure that's going to be useful. Let's get that. But no bullets. Okay, never mind. Right, come on, where's Alice? She must be around here somewhere. Okay, now there's an interesting bit here. You've got a fire, so you could maybe do something with the fireplace. But we're going to just move on by, and we're back in the corridor, and I think maybe there's only one room left now, so hopefully Alice is in here. Yes, there she is. We have managed to find her.
Alice. Clara, you remember me. How could I forget you? I'm so sorry. You were right. We never should have come here. We have to go.
Okay, so having found Alice, we've now got to escape out of the house. So what's going to happen here? Now, again, I think there are a couple of options here. Anyway, Luther apparently is going to be coming for us shortly.
Yes, Zlatko.
I'm finished here.
Right,
Go fetch
let's get out of here. So we could hide under the table, for example. I think there's a cupboard we can hide in.
Zlatko!
What?
The little one is gone!
I can't have just disappeared. Gotta be here somewhere. What are you waiting for?
There you go, we're going to get in the cupboard. Oh dear, he found us. Right, time to book out of here. Oh dear, shotgun is no longer not loaded. And I'm guessing we could choose to fight Zlatko, or we can keep running, so we're going to keep running. But of course androids are pretty tough, so yeah, got to escape Luther now. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's possible for Alice and also Kara to get killed here. Anyway, let's get out of here. I'm not sure what's going on with Luther. He seems to not really be trying, in my opinion. Anyway,
No more hide and seek for you.
we're in trouble. Ah, bear to the rescue. Oh, poor bear. Right, Zlatko deserves some serious beat down now, taking out that lovely polar bear. It's a very exciting scene to play this, actually, because you've got to get that timing right. Luckily there is a little bit of wiggle room, so which way do we go? Front door, back door, front door, back door. I'm going to go with the back door. Like, I'm not sure a lamp's really going to stop that great big root of an android, but there you go. And we're out the house, so hopefully we can escape. Let's see. Oh dear. No, no, no. That's not good.
Go, Alice! No! I won't leave! Go! Run as fast as you can!
I warned you. Dreams always end in tears. You should have listened to me.
Oh, hold on. What's going on here?
What are you doing? Get out of my way. No.
Ah, Luther's got a little red circle. He's going rogue and deviant.
How dare you? How dare you? What are you doing? Who let you out?
Yeah, I think it's not going to end well for Zlatko, this.
Obey me. I'm your master. I'm your master.
Okay, well, Kara and Alice have managed to escape. Sadly for Zlatko, the androids didn't like him very much. And what's going to go on with Luther now? Because he was obviously very obedient, but he's gone rogue now, so Is he going to join us? Is he going to wander off? What's going to happen?
I didn't want to hurt you. He programmed me to obey him. When I saw the little one risk her life to save you, it was like opening my eyes for the first time. Finally, I could see. I know you have no reason to trust me after what I did. But I know someone who could help you across the
Ah, now it looks like Luther's going to join with us and hopefully help us escape to Canada. And this is quite sweet actually, because they basically form a little family unit. So yeah, I really like this storyline. The Kara storyline is actually really, really nice. I got a lot of time for it, and you really come to like the relationship between Kara and Alice, and of course also, you know, Luther being a sort of a surrogate father figure as well. So there you go. That was that. So I will see you in the next video.